What is going on, my beautiful people? I wanted to come on today before the video starts and just give a thank you to everyone that has subscribed. We broke 500 subscribers recently this past weekend. Currently today is November 10th, 2020, and I'm trying to do some editing. For those of you that don't know, I have been super busy, and so this video was actually supposed to go out on the 31st of October. So this was kind of my Halloween special video. But I did not get a chance to get the editing done and get it up for you guys because I have been just super busy. But luckily on October 31st, we did break a record, if you know what I mean. We got something a little bit better and I broke a personal best. So I'm pretty excited to edit that video and I'm gonna try to get that out within the month. But I got a lot of stuff to edit and a lot of great content coming up for you guys. And that's part of the reason I've been so busy is the free time I've had. I've been trying to get in the woods to get stuff for you guys and then trying to find the time to edit it. And if you haven't noticed yet, I do have some additional jewelry on. I ended up getting married to the love of my life on November 8th. So thank you, Candace, for making that day such a special time for the both of us. And thank you for everyone else that's watching this video that was a part of that big day for us. You made it truly special and I was honored to have you there. And thank you guys for the subscribers. Thank all the subscribers that have been along with this journey. I know Candace has made a couple of appearances on the channel and I'm hoping that she's gonna make a couple more as we continue to grow this channel. So I'm super excited to bring you today's video. It's an idea that I've had for a while and the footage actually turned out pretty good. So I'm pretty excited about it and we're gonna go ahead and roll into the video. What is going on, my beautiful people? Today is Friday, October 9th at the time that I am filming this video, and we are gonna be doing a Halloween special. So this video should be up on Halloween, so I wanna wish you all a happy Halloween. Make sure you guys are having fun, being safe with all this corona and everything like that, and hopefully you're getting some good candy. But in today's video, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna answer the question of, will deer apple bob? So one of my favorite things to do during the fall season is apple bob. So it's like where you take a big tub of water, you put a bunch of apples in it, and you basically put your hands behind your back and you try to get the apples out with your mouth. Well, I guess throughout the years they decided that wasn't necessarily sanitary. So what they did was they started hanging them on forks. So they'd take an apple, put a fork in it, tie a string to the fork and hang it. That way you're just kind of bobbing around in the air. And I thought it would be such a good video idea if I do that, but with the deer where they can try to get the apples out of the air. So that's kind of my plan. That's kind of what I want to try to do here. As you can see, you know, I'm in front of my bow stand in the field that I planted. And this is kind of a testing facility where I try out a bunch of different stuff. But that's my plan. I'm going to probably set the camera up on this tree back behind me or on one of these trees right here, and use this smaller tree with a bunch of different branches as our testing facility where I'm gonna hang up some trees, or hang up some apples, excuse me. And for the apples, I have some Gala apples. I bought these at the store. I washed them to try to get that wax off, and as you can see, I cored the apples. I have some paracord here, and I didn't want to put any forks out here, or I didn't want to take any plastic forks and put out here that the deer could potentially break. So I cored those apples so I could put the string through the apples, and then those deer should be trying to get those. I'm sure some squirrels, some birds, any kind of wildlife, raccoons or anything like that's going to try to get these apples. But I'm hoping that we'll get some pretty funny videos of these deer, animals, whatever it is that comes to these apples, trying to eat these apples. So that's my plan. Hopefully it'll come to fruition and it's going to work out for you guys and we're going to have a pretty good video. But anyways, I am going to go ahead, get to work hanging up these apples, and I'll show you guys the finished product. Okay, so we got all the apples hung up and we got our trail camera moved. As you can see, we have the apples. Now, of course, they're cored, which I felt like that was going to be the best way to hang them. Now, it is going to give bugs and stuff like that the opportunity to get inside, so I'm sure these apples won't last long. But with that being said, I do have 5 other apples. I have 5 hung up. I might hang some on some branches. I may just dump some at the bottom of the tree. Who knows? That way, this camera is still going to be able to pick everything up. Now, I have this camera on, let's see, 60-minute videos. I have it on video setting, and I have a delay of 10 seconds. So it's gonna film for 60 seconds, wait 10 seconds, and then film for an additional 60 seconds. So hopefully we'll be able to get these deer looking at these, being frustrated, anything along those lines. And I think that's gonna make for a pretty exciting video. All right, welcome back for those of you that just saw me in the intro and now you've made it this far in the video, and thank you for watching this far. And if you have watched this far and you are not subscribed, consider, hitting the like button, the subscribe button, and turning on the bell notifications to not miss any of the content that I post. And trust me, you're not gonna wanna miss some of the future content. I got some good stuff coming out. We had 62 videos to look at, and each of those being a minute apiece. I did not wanna take an hour of your time. So I pulled out some of the better videos, and we're gonna go ahead and take a look at those. So right off the bat, we had on the 11th, which I believe is the day that I put this camera out, this buck walking through. And I was really interested to see, if he was gonna come check out the apples, if he smelled the apples or what. But he walked right on past them, and then he got spooked by something and kind of just ran back and looked around. So I don't know if maybe something was coming into the apples from the other side or what, but you can see this is a nice 1.5, 2-year-old deer. Pretty unique with his main beam kind of going straight up and all the points sticking off the back. He's a really vertical deer, but I think that he's got the chance to turn into something in the future, so I was excited to see him. In the morning of the 12th, you can see that it looks like the wind's blowing a good bit because there's a good bit of rustling in the tree, but I don't think that the wind is blowing in this. And as you can see, we start to have a little possum crawl up the base of the tree here, and he ends up being here for a while, so we're gonna get a lot of good footage of this possum over the time period of this video. This guy works real hard to get some of these apples, and there's some pretty funny clips of him as well. Next morning, about the same time, he comes back, and he is again trying to figure out just how he wants to approach this. It doesn't look like he can get some good footing on the tree this go around, and he ends up sliding back down the tree. And I don't know if he's trying to or not, but he slides all the way down the tree, and it's just pretty funny to watch this guy and some of his reactions to what happens. So the next morning, at roughly the same time again, a couple hours difference here and there, he climbs straight up past these apples on the left-hand side of the tree, and I think he tries to take a different approach. But through the rest of that video, you can kind of just see him shaking the branch, and you don't really see him again. Then the next morning, you have a coyote come through, and I don't know if he maybe smelled all the possum activity or if he smelled the apples and wanted to come and investigate, but as they walk around, they get spooked and they turn around and run off as well. Then a couple hours later, we have another buck come through. This deer looks to be a little bit older. He's definitely 2 or 3. He's pretty tall, but definitely I'm not gonna shoot this deer if I see him. He's just not what I'm quite after, especially now that I've filled a tag already. I am saving this tag for some pretty special deer. But again, a really pretty 8-pointer, very symmetrical, got the chance to be a stud, and he's walking around like he's gonna mess with these apples, so let's see what he does. And we'll roll over into the next video here, and you can see that he's eyeing the apple. Like, he's trying to figure out exactly what it is. He's like, it smells good, but can I get to it? That's the question. And it looks like he ultimately decides that he cannot, and he walks off of screen. And this video cracks me up. And I'm gonna play the first 2 or 3 seconds of this over and over again, because this possum literally falls off the tree. Just, there he goes. Just falls right off the tree, and I think that's so funny, because this possum never really gives up, but he does fall a couple different times, that being the first of which off of the tree. So a couple minutes later, he finally recuperated from his fall, and he is making his ascent back up the tree to try to get to these apples. I feel like we need some Mission Impossible music. And it looks like he's gonna fall again, and there he goes. The next morning, we have a fox coming through. Again, I don't know if they're just smelling the apples, if they're smelling the possums. I don't know what it is, but These predators are definitely rolling through as well. I saw something's head at the beginning of this video and the tree's shaking a good bit. Oh, we got an old raccoon here. Got a good old Ronaldo coming through. Let's see what Ronaldo can do. I guess the tree I chose was really tricky for him to climb because they seem to be struggling to get up and down it. I didn't really have that in mind. I figured that with it being a cluster of trees, it may be a little bit easier. Oh, he's trying up the vine now. Oh, he's making light work of that. But it seems like the apple might just be out of reach for him, which was my intention. I did try to put these a little bit further out of the way. That way I was hoping deer would come up to him, but it may have been a little bit high for even deer, at least based off this doe that came through. And then she's looking behind her the whole time like something. Oh, there it is. The little old spike comes through. And this is on the 17th, which I know was kind of starting to get some rutting behavior. And it looks like he's got his nose to the ground. And she tucks her tail and runs. So looks like some pre-rut activity here in the state of Georgia in mid-October, which is pretty accurate. There's another deer that just took off running over to the left. I don't know if that was that same doe or if maybe that was another little buck or not, because it looks like there's 3 deer running through there. So she may have been getting chased by 2 separate bucks. I didn't realize that the first time watching it through, but there was actually 3 deer running through. And then that same day, the 17th, this is a pretty decent little, looks like an 8-pointer. Looks like his G2s aren't that good, but he looks like an older deer. He doesn't look like he has the best genes. Something just flashed over the front of the camera. But he just walks on through and up the hill. Here comes a skinny possum, man. This possum's real skinny. He's over there on a tiny little vine. I would have never thought that vine right there would have supported a possum. And he took a big fall. So if you ever wonder why, you know, possums are always dead on the side of the road, looks like they may not be too smart or the best of climbers. It's like a couple hours after that, we had another buck walking through. He doesn't stay for long, but it looks like it might have been that same little 8-pointer. I can't really tell. We got another possum, and this possum actually had an apple. So I don't know why it didn't take any videos before that, but as you can see, he has an apple in his mouth right at the start of the video. So he got that front apple, and afterwards went on to the second apple to see if he can get that. So we've already had 1 apple taken, and this one is just all up on this branch. He is working hard to get to that apple. Will he do it? Or will he fall? On the other side of the branch from, oh, looks like he's got his mouth on it and he is fighting with it. Looks like he tore it up, but let's see what the next video is. Definitely looks like there's some teeth marks in the apple. Alright, he's made his way back into position on the branch. He's got it in his mouth. Let's see, this is the struggle now that he's going to have, is getting that apple off of the rope. He is hanging on predominantly by the string on that apple, and he is doing everything he can to get it. Oh, is he going to fall? No, he saved it and went back up the branch. Oh, it looks like the string got tied up in the branch as this guy makes his ascent again. He may have gotten half of it in the time that it took the camera to reset, but there's still half an apple left, and he's got it in his mouth, and he is still struggling to get it. Oh, he got a chunk of it, but we still have some of it hanging on. And it looks like that is the last good video we have before they ended up getting the second half of that apple. So unfortunately, we didn't have any deer themselves come and try to apple bob. It looks like they may have been a little bit out of range, or it looks like maybe the deer preferred to eat off the ground instead of trying to eat the apple out of the tree. So you never really know. But again, it was a lot of really interesting footage. I loved being able to see those possums come in and struggle to get the apple. We had coyotes, foxes, raccoons, all of that's come into these apples. So apples, again, are proven to be a really good attractant for both deer and other creatures. Like, everything loves to come into the smell of an apple. And that's something you'll see regardless of the apple stuff that you use, whether it's apple powder, apple mineral, apples. Like, it doesn't cease to amaze me what apples can bring in. But for those of you that have made it this far in the video, I can tell by me filming this that it's probably a decently long video. I will give you a sneak peek of what happened on the 31st of the deer that I shot. So I'll throw a picture up of it real briefly, and that way you'll have an idea of the hunt that is to come. So that's what I'm gonna do. Hope you guys enjoyed that sneak peek. Hope you enjoyed today's video. I do not have a verse of the week prepared, but one of the big things that was talked about at my wedding is being on God's timing. And I can tell you that God's timing is always perfect. So it just so happened that I killed the deer the weekend before my wedding because he knew that I wasn't gonna get much of a chance to hunt, because, you know, I have a wedding and then we got the honeymoon coming up and I work on weekends sometimes. And so most of my November, sadly enough, I am not going to be able to hunt. Yeah, because I leave for my honeymoon on the 14th, which is next Saturday. The 21st I work. So it's going to be towards the tail end of November that I'm going to get the chance to hunt again. So I am missing a good majority of the rut, which it's sad to say of, but there's some things in life that are a little more important even than deer hunting. And God knows that. And so I feel like God has blessed me with the opportunity to kill my biggest deer ever already towards the tail end of October. And I'm still going to have plenty of opportunities to hunt, and I still got plenty of tags to make it happen. And there's going to be a lot of does that I'm going to take out come December, because I should have a good bit of time to hunt then. But trust me, guys, God's timing is always perfect. I know it may not always feel like it, and I know we may get impatient, and we may feel like we need things to happen a little bit sooner than they do. But trust me, God's timing is always great, and He knows when things need to be put in your life and when things need to be taken out of your life. So trust in God. He won't lead you astray. But once again, I want to thank everyone for watching, and always remember, when nature calls or God calls, you better answer. Peace out.